warm welcome. It's Stephanie here and I'm from Lancashire in England and I'm part of the Card Creators Plus team along with Tammy and Bernie. And in today's video I'm going to show you how to make this double panel pop-out card. It's quite a nice card. It's straightforward, all straight score lines and straight lines to cut, but I think it's really quite effective. What I've done, I've actually put the verse on the back of my card, but if you didn't want to do that, you could quite easily incorporate it into one of the panels. But I think it's a super easy card and I think it looks really quite good. So I'll go through the how I've made it. I've got a template here to show you and the cardstock I've used, and then just give you some ideas. So we'll put this away for now and then we'll go through the template. So this is the template, and as you can see the card blank is 12 inches by 6 inches in depth. I haven't used cardstock, I've actually used a card blank. I get these in packs of 50, they're 6 by 6 card blanks and envelopes. I use those in the 5 by 7s, but if you haven't got card blanks like that, you can use a piece of cardstock that's 12 inches by 6 inches, and don't worry if you haven't got those. I've done that for the template as well, to use US letter size, which is the 11 inches, and there's very little difference in them. I'm using the card blank because as I say, I've got packs of them. But if you're using a 12-inch piece of cardstock, that's fine. But whatever the size of the card is, you're going to score it in the centre. And for a 12-inch card, it would be 6 inches. And then you're scoring it at an inch on either side. So in this case, it would be 5 inches and 7 inches. If you were using US letter size, which is 11 inches, the half point for that would be 5.5 inches. So you would score at 5.5 inches and again an inch on each side, which would be 4.5 inches and 6.5 inches. And again, there's very little difference in the actual double panels. The one for the 6-inch cardstock, which is the one I'm going to do, is a piece of cardstock that measures 5 inches by 3.5. scored at 1/2 inch, 1 inch and at 4.5 inches. The panel for the 5.5 inch square card would be a piece of cardstock that measured 4.5 inches by 3.5, so it's literally 1/2 inch smaller, both in the length and the depth. You would still score the same. You would score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch and at 4 inches, which is 1/2 inch before the end of the card. And that's it, and then it would just be a case of putting your embellishments on to whatever kind of card you're doing. So we'll pop this to one side now and then we'll start making the card. Okay, we'll begin with the card base first of all. As I said, mine is at one that's pre-scored at 6 inches, but I will give it another score as well. So we'll start with the scoreboard, and as I say, it's already got the 6 inches, but I'm going to go back over that anyway, just to give it a little bit deeper mark. So we've got the 6 inch, an inch on either side, so we're going to score it at 5 inches, and then at 7 inches. Whoops. So that's the scoring done for the base. So we'll put the scoreboard away, and then just make the folds and burnish them. So I'm going to fold the card in half on the 6 inch score marker. Just make sure I've got it level, and then burnish it. And then what we're going to do now with the 2 outer score lines, we're going to actually fold them back on themselves. So we're going backwards with this one, folding it back. We're going to do exactly the same with this one. So they are folded as well backwards. So just make sure I've got that lined up properly. Need to make sure it's straight. And then score that one as well. Give it a good burnish. So that's the piece now that actually folds inwards inside the card. The piece that we actually need to put the panels up against. So I'll just give that another good burnish so that we know that it's well squashed down. Okay, and then that's that. I think that's okay now. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to actually stick all the panels on, and I've got them ready so that the actual base card's got everything done. So I've got the panels here. The one for the front is this one, which I'm going to put a little tag message on the front, but before I do that I'll leave that till afterwards, because it's going to have pieces of foam underneath it, so that will raise it up, and we want this to be able to fold completely flat when we're doing it. So we'll just put the front on, but I'm not going to actually put the sentiment on yet. Okay, so it is quite quick, and I say everything's straight, no squiggly lines or anything to do, or difficult cuts, all quite straightforward, so it won't take us long to do this at all. Okay, so this is the front panel piece that I'm putting on now. Just level that up and make sure I've got it nice and even on all sides. Now what I do with all of my panel pieces, and everybody does it different, I always do, whatever the size is, I always make mine 1/4 of an inch less. Now obviously these panels are pushed in, so because you've got the inch in there, that's making this panel across here 5 inches. It's still 6 inches, but we've scored an inch in, so that makes this panel 5. So for me, that means I would do this 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. All of my panels are 1/4 of an inch less on either side. So that's the front panel. Now we'll turn it over and we'll put the sentiment one on the back. As I say, you don't have to do this. If you don't want to, you could do it inside, but for me, I just wanted to make it that little bit special and do, and do a panel on the back as well with the verse. It was giving me a little bit more room as well to do it. So that is the panel. Now we'll put that on, and that's on the back. So it is, once you've got all the pieces that you need, it is really quite an easy card to make. Whoops. Now I nearly slipped up there. I nearly put that on back upside down. Oh no, it's right. I suppose you should always check everything twice before you stick anything down. Right, so that's the panel for the back. So we've got the front panel on and the back panel, and now we're going to do the ones inside. I've got these little pieces here because this has been scored at 1 inch. What I've done with these tiny pink pieces, these are 3/4 of an inch wide, so the 1/4 of an inch less, so you've got that little gap the whole way round. So we'll put those on next. I say it won't take long at all to do this card. Right, that's one little panel. Just move it down so that I've got it even at both sides. And then one on the other side as well. Lay it out flat, and then I get them even. If anything, I think I've cut that a little bit short, but it's a panel, but it'll have to do. That's that. So those two are done. Now we'll put the inside panels on as well. I think I'm going to have, you could do the flowers on the inside, but I'm going to put them on the outside there. It is quite a fussy paper. You could do something that's not quite as fussy, but I quite like it, so that's my panels there. Let's pop this on here. Make sure I've got it level as I can around the edges, and I think I'm quite happy with that. And then we'll put this one on. I was tempted when I'd done this, I did one and I thought it's nice. I was actually tempted to do one for a man, the second one. I thought it would have been nice, a sea theme. But then I thought, oh no, I really like doing ladies' cards. So, and luckily the men's birthday cards I've needed to have done up to now for a little while. So ladies one was a nicer idea. Okay, so that's the panels, and that bit is actually done. So we've got the front panel on, the back panel with the verse, and we've got the pieces done in the middle. So all it is now is to actually make the pieces that are the pop-out panels. So we're going to put this to one side now, and then I'll get the cardstock and we'll make the panels for the inside. Okay, so here are the pop-out card panels. I've scored one ahead of time, then you don't have to watch me score both of them. So I'll get my scoreboard and we'll score this one. So on the 5-inch side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, and at 4.5 inches. So that means you've got 3 separate 1/2 inch score lines and your centre panel, which is where you're going to put your embellishments. So I'm going to fold and burnish these. I'll do both of them. Give them a good burnish, just folding them all in. So it's almost like making sort of a box panel. So I'm going to actually stick on the embellishment before I put it onto the card. So I just want to tell you something that you don't do what I've done in the past. If you notice, there's 2 pieces on this side and 1 on that. And this that's got the single 1/2 inch score line is the one that will butt against the card. So when you're putting your embellishment on, you want to make sure that you've got them the right way round. You know, if you had them that way, both with the 2, they'd be wrong. So I'll just fold and burnish this one a little bit more. And this one, and then they're done. Okay, so when I stick the embellishments on now, I'm thinking that this one that's got the 2 is going to be the outer piece. And again with that one, so I need to turn that round. So when I'm sticking my embellishments on, they need to be that way. So in both cases, the 2 folds are on the outside. So I can lay them flat again now, but keep them in this direction so that I know I'm going right. So I'll get the 2 little embellishments that I've got for here, and we'll glue these on now. There is something I wanted to mention as well while I'm doing this. I don't know if you use Silhouette software, but I use Silhouette software to do a lot of my embellishments and things like that, and then print them off. I have the business edition, but the basic edition is free. And Tammy Burney and I were talking about this the other day. I've done this, I didn't want to do a matte and layer and make this too heavy with cardstock. So my image, I ended up putting a frame round it in pink, which I did in the software. And Tammy was saying perhaps a lot of people might be interested in learning how to use that if they didn't use it, or learn different things about it. And in our Facebook group, we're going to do some videos on basic things to do with the software. Tammy's an absolute ace at that. I mean, Bernie's good as well, but that is sort of Tammy's forte. So if you're interested in learning anything like that, have a look at joining our Facebook group, and so you can do things like that, and it all helps instead of having to use lots of cardstock, and you can learn lots of things. But it's just a thought. Right, okay, so those are my 2 panels, and they are both facing the right way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use double-sided tape as well as glue to fasten them down. So I need tape on this single 1/2 inch one that's going to butt up to the card. Just pop this on here. and I need, on the outer part, it needs to be taped, but only on that 1/2 inch, not on the second part, just the outer piece there. So we'll do one at a time, and then I can show you what I've actually done. So I'm going to stick the tape on here, making sure it only goes on that 1/2 inch strip and it doesn't go any further. And then we'll bring the card back in. Leave that one to one side while we just do this one. Okay, I'll just get my pokey tool and peel the tape off. And what I'm going to do, I've used tape, but I am not using tape alone. I've just done it so it will grab quicker for the video, but I'm going to put glue on top of it, because if I just use tape alone and put it on, it would grab straight away, and if I hadn't got it quite in the right place, I would tear the card to get it off. Whereas if you put some glue on, it just gives you that little bit of extra time, a little bit of wiggle room to move it without destroying your card. So I'm going to put this on here now, just put the tape on, put the glue on, and then we'll get the card base and stick it to it. Okay, so what we're doing first, I'll get the card. This is the panel that's going to go on this side. I actually shouldn't have done that, I should have left that, but busy talking and I've done it right. So what we're going to do is going to do this piece first. So I'm going to flatten that out and butt it, decide whereabouts to want it height wise on there. I think there's about right. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy about there. And I've laid it flat and I've butted it against this crease there, the inch crease, and then just go like that, push it down and fold it like that. Okay, and the fact that I've put tape on as well will make it stick quite quickly. So that's done. Now for this piece here, we're going to, we've only glued and taped the first 1/2 inch, but the second one we're going to fold it so that both of those are underneath. So we've got both of those scored lines are underneath completely. We're going to push that down so that's completely flat, and then get this, pushing both of them under like that, so you've got it under completely, and push this one down. Just let that glue for a second. So now when we lift it up, hey presto, we've got the panel in and it's in perfect. So that's that bit done. How easy is that? But it looks really effective. Okay, we'll do the other one as well. So I'll just pop the card out of the way while we do this one. So we need to take this again on the 1/2 inch scored line. Just cut off there. And this time I will tape it, but I won't glue it straight away. I'll leave it so I'm not chance of getting glue on the card. Okay, so let's do that there. Okay, I'll just burnish it down so it peels off easily. We'll get this piece here. Just peel that off. I've got a little piece of something. I was doing something with stars on the other day and I must have left some on the work surface and it's got stuck on there. Although nobody would see it, but I'll take it off. Oops. It was a little gold star. Right, to glue this piece now again. Just that little bit extra. Bring the card in again. Fold it back so that it's completely folded there. Right, I want to know it's right. Sorry, lay it flat, bring it in line, and I want to make sure that I get this level as well, as level as I can so they do match. I'm just looking roughly where I think that is to make sure it looks pretty level. Have a see. I think that's about right. Make sure it's flat and buffed right up to this score line and then push down. You can then actually fold the whole card because it won't affect this one because that one's stuck down, the one we've just done. Give that a good push and a good burnish open it up. That's level. Okay, now this one again, we're going to take off the tape on this one. Glue it. Fold both pieces down, not just the 1/2 inch, the whole 1 inch. Going to fold that under completely. This time we're going to bring the whole card over this way so that we make sure we close it. So I'm going to push this down so that it's completely lined up. Push onto the actual card so that's closed. So you're actually closing the card while you do it so that you make sure you get that fully in line. Push that down, and then that should have lined that up. And there we have it. Brilliant. So that is done. And that is the inside of your card finished. Now, quick and easy is that. I've got a couple of little embellishments here I'll just pop on. Got these little pink beads, and I think they look quite nice. I couldn't stick those on before I actually put it on the card because when I was trying to fold it down they would have pushed against it, so I've had to leave those. But it is definitely worth putting your paper or whatever you're doing it on before you actually stick it into your card. It's much easier than trying to do it afterwards. Okay, so let's just make sure they're level. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Push them down, make sure they're stuck on properly. And then all I have to do now is put the little tag that I did from the front, put a little ribbon on that and fasten that onto there. I'll get some little foam dots and we'll put those behind it. And then I think that will be my card finished. I think it's quite a super easy card to do, but I think it looks quite good because it's not just a flat folded up card. It's just something a little bit special. Okay, so let's peel these bits off here. Oh, I'll just put another, put another couple up there. Make sure that it's right. Put these little dots on here, and then peel. Just peel the backing bits off them. Use my scalpel to do that. I find it a bit easier. Oops. It's a lovely sunny day here for a change. Even though it's May, our weather hasn't been brilliant. It's only just starting to pick up. The sun's shining in now. I don't know whether you can see the light there. Right, let's have a look. We'll put this onto here. Make sure I get the sentiment right in level. And that is my card finished. So it's got the little sentiment on the front. When they open it up, it's got this lovely panel inside. And then it's got the verse to write on underneath at the back. So it's completely finished now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's inspired you to have a go at making this card. And if you've enjoyed it, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. That way you'll be notified each time we release a video. Anyway, I think that's it from me for today. So enjoy the rest of your day, keep safe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.